Welcome to Saturday Sanga from Munich. Far away Munich. Far from what? Far from many places. Okay, here we go. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakambitanscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome back to Saturday Sanga from Munich. My apologies for canceling last week. I was, as we say in English, under the weather. Nothing serious, just a good old-fashioned head cold. Was waiting for me when I came to Singhachalam. The head cold said, welcome, you have just come just in time for me to be welcomed by you into your body. And so this is what happens. Little uninvited guests. So what are we doing today? Well, we can today we can go through and sing the final portion of the first song of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's introduction to Sambandha-Abhideya-Prayojana from Kalyana Kalpataru. And after that, I thought we can, in anticipation of tomorrow being Rama Navami, I guess it's Navami, not Navami. Appearance of Lord Ram, we can read something from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and also something, well, maybe I'll leave it a surprise. Okay, so now let's go to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Oops. This means we go here. Today we're using the Munich Hari-Nam-Sankirtan harmonium, which is one of these special devices for carrying and playing harmonium at the same time. So it's interesting. Okay, so, all right, so we are, I believe we are at verse number 49. This must be Bhaktivinoda Thakur's longest song. 49, and it's going to go up through 58. So, sadhugana-sange, sada, hari-lila-rase, jibana korin kal, nitya-dharma-base, jibana-jatrar, janno, baidika-bidhana, raga-dvesa visarjya korin samman. Okay, sadhugana-sange, sada, hari-lila-rase. In the association of sadhus, always the relish of hari-lila, japan koren, doing japa, kal, nitya-dharma-base, being absorbed in nitya-dharma. I don't know what the call is there. 49, let's see. Under the controlling influence of her eternal natural activities, she passes her time always tasting the mellows of Hari's pastimes in the association of devotees. She being the devotee, I believe. Abandoning anger and envy, she gives due honor and respect to the Vedic injunctions, which are meant to be good instructions for the proper conduct of life's journey. So here we're getting some Abhideya. First is Sambandha, relationship, and Abhideya, process, and Prayojana is the goal or the necessity. They're all kind of interwoven, of course. 51. But we see that the general characteristic of the Vedic injunctions is that they are meant for facilitating the success of economic development, and from such wealth comes the fulfillment of lusty desires for sense gratification, which is usually the prized treasure of fools. Thus, many souls accept all this religion, economic development, and sense gratification simply as a means of passing the days. 53, people are generally spending their life in that way, but the real meaning of life is to accept the flowing current of devotional service to Krishna. That's an interesting expression. The flowing current of devotional service. Therefore, the devotees of the Lord perform the exclusive worship of Lord Krishna, being situated above any external system, such as varna, ashrama, etc. Thus, they transcend all the dualities of the material body. Thus, she does not waste any time endeavoring separately for knowledge, for she automatically realizes eternal knowledge by the strength of her devotional service. Living here and there and anywhere, wearing any available cloth, she maintains body by taking only that food which is easily obtained. Thus, the devotee of Krishna, being overwhelmingly absorbed in the joy of serving Krishna, always wanders and roams about in the mellows of pure love for the Lord, preaching the glories for such love. And the final verse, thus, Bhaktivinoda is singing about the causeless mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has so kindly descended at Navadip Dham. And the Bengali, we read 49, 50, 51. Shamanno baidika-dharma artha-phala-prada. Artha hoite kama-labha mudher sampada. So the mood, this is the wealth of the mudhas. Sampada, wealth. Mudher, of the fools. What is that? Artha-phala. Baidika-dharma, artha-phala-prada, being, Baidika-dharma, that which prada, which gives the fruit, phala, of artha. Artha hoite, from arising out of this economic development, as Dasarat Sutta translates, kama-labha, greed, desire and greed. The fools, this is the fool's wealth. She dharma, she artha, she kam jato, shikar koren, dina-japaner moto. This dharma, this artha, this kama is such, accepting, svikar koren, dina-japaner. One is trapped in wretchedness, something like that. Tahate jibana-jatra, koren nirvan, jibana artha, krsna-bhaktir pravaha. Pravaha. Tahate, okay. let's quickly look. People are generally spending their life in that way. But the real meaning of life is to accept the flowing current of devotional service to Krishna. That's the flowing. Okay. Pravaha is the flowing of Krishna bhakti. Atha-eva linga-hina sada sadhu-jana dvanvatita ho je koren sri-krsna-bhajana. Atha-eva, we know that word, therefore, hence, linga-hina, without any linga, without any show, maybe. Sada sadhu-jana, always be with the sadhus. Dvanva atita, going beyond atita, beyond dvanva, beyond duality. Hoye, being beyond. Koren sri-krsna-bhajana, doing the worship of Sri Krishna. Jnana-prayase kal na korya japan. Bhakti-bale nitya-jnana koren sadhana. The effort for jnana, nakori in Japan, I don't know this, 55, thus she does not waste any time, okay, endeavoring separately for knowledge, for she automatically realizes eternal knowledge by the strength of her devotional service. Bhakti-bale, by the power of bhakti, the strength of bhakti. Nitya-jnana koren sadhana. Sadhana is giving that knowledge, eternal knowledge. Jota tata boshe koriya, je bastra poriya, sulabh bhojana-dvara de haraka koriya. Jata tata bosha koriya. Je bastra. Bastra is cloth, dress. Poriya, falling. What was that again? 56. Short memory. Living here and there and anywhere. Jata tata. Wearing any available cloth. Oh, okay. She maintains body by taking only that food which is easily obtained. All right. Sulabdha bhojana-dvara. Easily obtained bhojana, food. Deha raksha kori. Maintaining the body. Okay, now it's clear. Jata tata vasha koriya. So doing the living anywhere and wherever, sort of as living, so living. Je bastra poriya, wearing some cloth. Sulabdha bhojana, sulabdha, easily obtained. Bhojana dvara. Dvara means by means of. Literally, it means a door. So the entry, the access, the way of eating what's easily obtained. Deha, the body. Raksha koriya, doing the protection of the body. Krishna bhakta, Krishna seva anande matya. Shoda Krishna prema-rase piren gahiya. Krishna bhakta, the devotee of Krishna. Krishna seva anande, serving in the bliss of service to Krishna. Matya, I guess, means mentality, being of that mentality. Shada, always. Krishna prema-rase, in the rasa of love of Krishna. Pirena gahiya. I'm tempted to say repeatedly singing, but I don't know. What was it here? 57. Thus, the devotee of Krishna, being overwhelmingly absorbed in the joy of serving Krishna, always wanders and roams about in the mellows, preaching the glories for such love. Gahiya must mean preaching, I guess. Gahiya. Wandering, roaming. Let's see how that works. Piren, gahiya. Piren might be wandering, by returning. Navadipe Sri Chaitanya Prabhu avatar, Bhaktivinoda Gai Kripai Tahar. In Navadvip, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the avatar who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhaktivinoda sings of his mercy, Kripai Tahar. Yeah, the causeless mercy. Okay. We're there now. Okay. Let's see. We have some backup here, a Kartal band. Let's see if I can turn the other way. So we're singing from 49. Sadhugana-sange sada hari-lila-rase jibana-jatrar nitya-dharma-base sadhugana-sange sada hari-lila-rase jibana-jatrar nitya-dharma-base jibana-jatrar jana baidika-bidhana raga-dvesa visarjiya krsna-sama jibana-jatrar jana baidika-bidhana raga-dvesa visarjiya krsna-sama samanya baidika-dharma artha-phala-prada kama-labha sampada samana baidika-dharma artha-phala-prada kama-labha sampada say dharma say artha say kama-jatra sri-krsna dina-japaner mata say dharma say artha say kama-jatra sri-krsna dina-japaner mata tahate jibana-jatra korena nirvana jibaner artha-krsna-bhaktir tahate jibana-jatra korena nivan jibaner artha Krishna bhaktir pravaha ataiva linga-hina sada sadhu-jana dvandvatita hoje koren sri-krsna-bhajana artha-eva linga-hina sada sadhu-jana dvandvatita hoje koren sri-krsna-bhajana Gane prayase ka nakhori japa Bhakti-bale nitya-jnana korena sada Gane prayase ka nakhori japa Bhakti-bale nitya-jnana korena sada jata tata jata tata vasha kori jebastra kori sulaktan bhajandvara deharaka kori jata tata vasha kori jebastra kori sulakta bhajandvara deharaka kori Krishna bhakta Krishna seva anande matiya sada Krishna prema rase hari-lila-rase Krishna bhakta Krishna seva anande matiya sada Krishna prema rase hari-lila-rase Navadipe Krishna Navadipe Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Avatar Bhaktivinoda Kripaitana Navadipe Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Avatar Bhaktivinoda Kripaitana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura ki jai. So, it's heavy. Okay. Okay, so let me move this back up here. Yes, again, welcome to all of you, including those of you who have just joined us. I'm speaking from the beautiful and rather cold and wet city of Munich. And it's as good a place as any to have Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam, and especially in anticipation of Lord Ram's appearance. Lord Ram appears every year. Yeah, okay. good to see you all. Thank you for joining us. And trust you're all keeping well. Okay, so I want to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, let me think. Maybe should I share screen? Suppose that would make it easier for translators, wouldn't it? Okay, let's see if I can manage this. First, let's find the place. Let's go here. And we will go to database. And we'll go to Chaitanya Charitamrita. And we'll go to chapter 9. Madhya Lila Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Okay, now we try the sharing of the screen. And we go here and share. And there we are. Okay, so this is describing the incident of Lord Chaitanya meeting a certain Brahmin in South India who is a devotee of Lord Rama. And this is very nice in many ways. One way is just to picture oneself accompanying Lord Chaitanya, meeting this devotee. We could say this is a major theme of Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Lord meets his devotees. And what does he do when he meets his devotees? He appreciates them. And he glorifies the Lord with them. And they rejoice in remembering the Lord. So let's see if I can shift this. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Lord Chaitanya is traveling in South India. Now he's taken sannyas. He's met on his way, thinking he's going to Vrindavan. He has met Advaitacharya, brings him to his home where he meets his mother, Sachimata, who pleads with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to, now that he's taken sannyas, to go to Puri and stay in Puri. He should remain there so that she can hear news about him. And he agrees, he promises that's what he's going to do. And, but it's never said that he's not keeping his promise. I don't know of anywhere where it's said like that, but it seems like he's not keeping his promise for some time, because soon after he comes to Puri, Vasudeva Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya meets him, and after their interesting exchanges, which are described in chapter 8, Madhya Lila, chapter 6. Then, yeah, chapter 6, and then, okay, and then he's meeting Ramananda in chapter 8. So chapter 6, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya advises the young sannyasi, you really should go and meet this amazing person, Ramananda Rai. And so he does. He leaves Puri and he heads for the south. He goes to a place on the Godavari River, which is, it's in Andhra Pradesh. And Rajamundri is the name it's called now, Rajamahindra, Rajamundri, and there he meets Ramananda. They have their samvada, their discussion, in which they spiral up the ladder of bhakti all the way to the top, and they spill over the top in overwhelming joy, ecstatic feelings. And this meeting inspires Ramananda sometime after this to resign from his position as some sort of governor and to come to Puri just to be with Mahaprabhu and to continue relishing his association, hearing and discussing Krishna Lila. Meanwhile, Lord Chaitanya continues south, and he comes into the Tamil country. And here he has various adventures, and Krishnadas tells us he visits several temples. One adventure he has described just prior to where we're reading from now is that he meets Lord Shiva. Together with his wife Durga, and they are disguised. They're disguised in the form of Brahmins, and they're very happy to meet Lord Chaitanya. Lord Shiva, as a Brahmin, gives alms to Lord Chaitanya and invites him to spend 3 days in a solitary place. Sitting there together, they talked very confidentially. Now, this is something which has always intrigued me. We got fairly detailed description of Lord's secret talks with Ramananda Roy, but we don't get a single word of what he spoke with Lord Shiva. So we can only guess, or maybe we should not even try to guess. But these are Gupta Varta, confidential talks. Varta can also mean story or news, secret news. So they spent 3 days together. Quite a bit of discussion can go on in 3 days. So who knows? Maybe that will be revealed to us one day, what that conversation was. After this, Lord Chaitanya took his permission to leave and went to Kama-Koshti-puri. (178). Dakina Mathura Aila Kama-Koshti hoite Tahandeka Hoila Ekka Brahmana Shohite. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at southern Mathura from Kama-Koshti, he met a Brahmana. Prabhupada explains some geography in the purport. Madurai is the present name of what may otherwise be called southern Mathura. There's a very big temple there of Meenakshi, of Durga or Parvati as Meenakshi, she whose eyes are like those of a fish, which means they're very big eyes. Yeah, there's also a Shiva temple there. No, it says there are 2 Shiva temples. What? Rameshwaram. Okay. Sundareshwara, Rameshwaram. Yeah. And some of us visited there some years ago. And it was very nice. That's also interesting. He mentions that Kula Shekhar ruled this area when he was the ruler. Kula Shekhar is one of the 10 or 12, it's sometimes said 10, sometimes 12 alvars. And it says he established a colony of Brahmins here. And then he mentions a certain king, Anantaguna Pandya, an 11th generation descendant of Emperor Kula Shekhar. Something interesting to research more about. Okay, so he's meeting a Brahmin. Now we're going to hear what happens. Who is this Brahmin? She Vipra Mahaprabhuke Koilani Mantran Rama Vakta She Vipra Virakta Mahajan. The Brahmin who met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu invited the Lord to his home. This Brahmin was a great devotee and an authority on Lord Sri Ramacandra. He was always detached from material activities. Prabhupada translates the word Mahajan as a great devotee and authority. So he's taking this idea, I think, from the Bhagavatam, that there are 12 Mahajanas, authorities for the Vaishnavas, and in a sense, he's adding one more authority here, specifically an authority on Rama. And one of his qualities is that he is virakta. We know the word vairagya, and virakta is just the past participle of the same word. Raga being the root word, raga being attachment, viraga, vairagya, virakta. And Koila Nimantran, he did an invitation. He made an invitation. He invited Lord Chaitanya to for hospitality, which means for meals, for a meal. And Mahaprabhu accepts. And Kritamalai snan kori ailatara gore gore bikaki diben bipra pakanahi kore. After bathing in the river Kritamala, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the Brahman's house to take lunch, but he saw that the food was unprepared because the Brahman had not cooked it. Paka nahi kore. Paka means cooking. And Tara Gore in his house, Aila Tara Gore, he came into his house. Kritamalai snan koriya, having done snana, having made snana in the Kritamala. Bhiksha kidiben vipra. So the Vipra, the Brahmin, giving diben of bhiksha, of alms. In other words, he's expecting that he's going to give him a meal, but there's nothing cooked. So what kind of an invitation is this? Mahaprabhu kahe tare Suno mahashoy madhya nahoila kene paka nahi hoy. Seeing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear sir, please tell me why you have not cooked. It is already noon." So this word mahashoy is a nice Bengali word of for addressing someone with respect, addressing a male person. I don't know what the female equivalent would be. Mahashoyi. I don't know. I haven't heard. So Mahaprabhu is being very polite, and at the same time, he would like to know what's going on because he's been invited for lunch, and it's already past midday. Madhyana hoila. Hoila is past tense. It has already happened. What has happened? Madhya ahna, the period of time in the middle. So noon. Kene. Why? Hakanahi hoy. There is not. Actually, he doesn't say you did not cook literally. What he says is the cooking is not done. Why is the cooking not done? This is the more polite way. So he's not making any accusation. He's just asking why it's not done. Viprakahe Prabhu Mora Arane Bashati Paker Samagri Bane Namile Samprati. The Brahmin replied, "My dear Lord, we are living in the forest. For the time being, we cannot get all the ingredients for cooking." More aranye bashati. Aranye in the forest. Mora is a poetic amar, poetic form of amar, of me. Vasati is residence. Samagri, sorry. Ingredients for cooking, the ingredients of cooking, paker samagri, bone namile samproti. At the present time, not available, not meeting. We are not meeting at this time. Banna shako palamula anibe lakmana tobe sita koriben paka prayojano. When Lakshman brings all the vegetables, fruits, and roots from the forest, Sita will do the necessary cooking. Okay, now it starts to become clear what's going on. What's happening is that this Brahmin is so absorbed in the mood of Ram Lila, he sees himself being there in the forest with Ram and Sita and Lakshman. Perhaps he's seeing himself as their assistant. And he's in such absorption in that mood that he's saying, yes, Lakshman is coming. So in other words, he's so absorbed, he's actually put himself into Rama Lila. This is, I think, the thing. So shak, phala, mula. Shaka means spinach. Basically, shaka is leafy vegetables, any kind of, leafy salad type thing. That's shak, spinach. Many different types of shaka. Prabhupada speaks of 25 different types of shak. And there's a song from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. One of his 6 prasadam songs is about how much Lord Chaitanya relishes shak. Ekdina Shanti Pure, Prabhu Advaite Ragore, Dui Prabhu Bojane Bosilo, Shak Kori Ashwarana, Prabhu Bole Bhaktagana, E Shak Krishna Asfadilo, Hano Shak Ashwarane, Krishna Prema Aishe Mane, She Preme Koro Ashodan, Jadabudi Pari Hari Prasad Bojana Kori, Hari Hari Bolo Sarvajan. He says, Jadabudi Pari Hari, giving up your material mentalities. Just take this prasad and glorify the Lord and relish. Okay, and phala mula, of course, fruit and roots. Anibe will bring, that's the future. Third person, Anibe. Who will bring? Lakshmana. Tabe, then, at that time, Sita koriben, again, future tense, will make what? The paka prayojana, the necessary cooking. She'll make what will be produced by cooking, the goal of cooking. Tara upasana shuni prabhu tushta hoila ashte baste she bipra randana korila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very satisfied to hear about the Brahman's method of worship. Finally, the Brahmin hastily made arrangements for cooking. Tar upasana shuniya, having heard his worship, upasana, his method of worship. Prabhu tushta hoila, Prabhu, Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya, Hoila became, Tushta became satisfied, pleased. Aste baste, baste, very hastily. Yes, when the rickshaw driver in Bengal is going too fast, too wildly, aste aste korum, aste aste korum, slow down. Aste baste, get going. Shebipra, Randan Korila, he began to cook. Prabhu Bika Koila Diner Tritiya Prahare Nirbinna Shebipra Upavasa Kore. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his lunch at about 3 o'clock. But the Brahmana, being very sorrowful, fasted. Upavas Kore. Why? Nirvinna. He was very sad, sorrowful. And now we'll find out why. Prabhu kohe bipra kahe kora upavas kene etta dukkha kene karaha hutasa. While the Brahmin was fasting, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, why are you fasting? Why are you so unhappy? Why are you so worried? Kene, why? Kano, kene. Kahe. Vipra kahe, jibane mor nahi prayojan, agni jale praveshiya chariva jivan. The Brahmin replied, I have no reason to live. I shall give up my life by entering either fire or water. Agni jale. Okay. Viprakahe jivane mor nahi prayo. There's no prayojana, there's no necessity in my life. Agni jale praveshiya. So having entered into Agni or water, chadiba, I will give up jivan, my life. And why does he want to give up his life? And why does he see it as purposeless? Jaganmata Mahalakshmi Sita Thakurani Rakshase Sparshilotare Ihakane Shuni. My dear sir, Mother Sita is the mother of the universe and the supreme goddess of fortune. She has been touched by the demon Ravana, and I am troubled upon hearing this news. Rakshase Sparshila. Sparsha means touch. Sparshila, touched, past tense. Rakshase, by the Rakshasa. Tare, of her. Ihakane Shuni, I've heard it. I think kane means ears, like hearing in the ears, karna. Jaganmata Mahalakshmi Sita Thakurani. She is the mother of the universe, the great Lakshmi Sita Thakurani. E sharira dharibare, dharibare, kabuna jujai, e dukke jale deha, prana nahi jai. Sir, Due to my unhappiness, I cannot continue living. Although my body is burning, my life is not leaving. So prana, of course, means breath, but more fundamentally, it's that which makes breath possible. It's life. Prana nahi jai. My life is not leaving, even though dukkhe, dukkhe, in this suffering, jvale deha, my body is burning. Kabu na jujai. I have no, I do not deserve to, I have no reason at all. Kabu na, sort of at all. There's no deserving at all the maintenance of my body. Prabhu kahe e bhavana na kariho ara pandita haya kene na karaho vichar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, please do not think this way any longer. You are a learned Pandit. Why don't you consider the case? Pandit Hoya, being a Pandit, Kene, why? Na karaha vichar. You don't make vichar. Vichar means thinking about, reflecting, consider, to consider. Why don't you do considering? Ishvara prayasi sita chit ananda murti prakrita indriyer tare dekite nahi shakti. So now Mahaprabhu is going to explain in a theological way why it's not possible that Sita would have been touched by Ravana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, Sita Devi, the dearmost wife of the Supreme Lord Ramacandra, certainly has a spiritual form full of bliss, Chit Anandamurti. No one can see her with material eyes, for no materialist has such power. Prakrita indriyer tare takite nahi shakti. Yeah, this reminds me, I was just reading in Yoga Sutras, some commentary. It's explained that, let's see, how is it? The mind can perceive the senses, which can perceive the sense objects, because the senses are more gross than the mind. And the sense objects are more gross than the senses, but the mind does not perceive what is more subtle. So actually the mind doesn't perceive the intelligence, although that's not what's mentioned. What's mentioned is it doesn't perceive the self, the Purusha, the Atma, except by a kind of reflection, a sort of indirectly, like having a mirror, indirectly seeing. That is possible when the mind is pure. But prakrita indriya tare dekite nahi shakti, it won't be possible for material senses to perceive she who is the Lord's Shakti. The senses don't have the Shakti to perceive the internal Shakti, Chit Ananda Murti. Sparshibar karja achuk napai darshana sitar akritimaya hari-lila-rase, to say nothing of touching Mother Sita. A person with material senses cannot even see her. When Ravana kidnapped her, he kidnapped only her material, illusory form. So, akriti maya, the form made of maya. Hari-la, he took away. Ravana took away. Sparshibar karja achuk, let it be. How's that meant? I guess it's what to speak of, kind of. To say nothing of, must be what is achuk. Okay. All right, so I'll just speed up a little. As soon as Ravana arrived before Sita, she disappeared. Then, just to cheat Ravana, she sent an illusory material form. Maya Sita, Patayila, she sent Maya Sita. Antardhan Koila, she disappeared. She did, literally, she made a antardhan, a going within, a treasure. She made a treasure within, I think, dana, possibly. Prakritavas, okay, spiritual substance is never within the jurisdiction of the material conception. This is always the verdict of Vedas and Puranas. Prakriti gochara. So prakriti gochara, that's a nice expression. Gochara, literally the field of cows, means, we say in English, the range. And the word range has this kind of double meaning. It can mean like a field for cows, or it can mean the extent, or the extent that something can be accomplished. How to say this in a nice way? If you're practicing shooting with arrows, you may have a certain power to shoot the arrow a certain distance. So that's the range that you have. So similarly, gochara. So prakriti gochara, it's a very limited range. It's a material range. It's a, Prabhupada translates nicely, within the jurisdiction, within the range of matter. Aprakrita vastu nahe prakriti gochara. Okay, and then, there's a longer purport here. Quoting Bhagavatam and Katha Upanishad. He gives a whole verse and then he gives a very short translation. Spirit is not within the jurisdiction of material eyes, words, or mind. Naiva vajana manasa praptum shakyo nachakshusha. Okay, moving on. Vishvas karahatumi amar bachane punarapiku bhavana nakarihamane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then assured the Brahmin, have faith in my words and do not burden your mind any longer with this misconception. So he's still with the Brahmin who is hosting him. He's just had his meal. The Brahmin is fasting. He's convincing him that he should eat. And this he does. The Brahmin takes his words seriously and accepts prasadam. In this way, hoila jivaner asha. In this way, there was hope for his living. He was going to give up his, seems to have been a very intense devotee of Lord Rama. Okay, then Lord Chaitanya proceeds to South India. This is 197. Let me see where it becomes relevant again for us. So he's visiting different temples. He's bathing in the Kritamala River again. He goes to Setubandha, Rameshwara, and took his bath at Dhanush Tirtha, also known as Dhanush Kodi, a place that I went with Bhakti-Vaibhava Swami and Suhotra Swami many, many moons ago. Okay, there, yes, we can go to verse number 200. There, among the Brahmins, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu listened to the Kurma Purana, wherein is mentioned the chaste woman's narration. Kurma Purana apparently has 17,000 verses, but most of that's missing. Shrimati Sita Devi is the mother of the three worlds and the wife of Lord Ramacandra. Among chaste women, she is supreme, and she is the daughter of King Janaka. When Ravana came to kidnap Mother Sita and she saw him, she took shelter of the fire god Agni. The fire god covered the body of Mother Sita, and in this way she was protected from the hands of Ravana. So there you have it from the Kurma Purana. Upon hearing from the Kurma Purana how Ravana had kidnapped a false form of Mother Sita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very satisfied. Shuni Mahaprabhu Hoila Anandita Mone. The fire god, Agni, took away the real Sita and brought her to the place of Parvati, goddess Durga. An illusory form of Mother Sita was then delivered to Ravana, and in this way, Ravana was cheated. Now, I can't help but wonder what sort of conversations there might have been between the real Sita and the goddess Parvati or Durga while all this was going on, while Ravana was chasing after Maya Sita. After Ravana was killed by Lord Ramacandra, Sita Devi was brought before the fire and tested. That's in the Valmiki Ramayana. When the illusory Sita was brought before the fire by Lord Ramacandra, the fire god made the illusory form disappear and delivered the real Sita to Lord Ramacandra. So she was being kept safe by Agni. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this story, he was very pleased. He remembered the words of Ram Das Vipra. This is, I think, the first time we get a name for this Brahmin. Of course, it could also just be a generic Ramdas, the servant of Rama. That was his mood. Indeed, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard these conclusive statements from the Kurma Purana, he felt great happiness. After asking the Brahman's permission, he took possession of the manuscript leaves of the Kurma Purana. Now, this is hard to imagine because generally Brahmins don't just say, oh yeah, go ahead, take our manuscript. But perhaps, as will be explained, he had promised to them that he would copy it and then return. Brahmaner stane magi she patra nila. Since the Kurma Purana was very old, the manuscript was also very old. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took possession of the original leaves in order to have direct evidence. The text was copied onto new leaves in order that the Purana be replaced. Nutan patra lekanya pustake daujaila protitilagi puratana patramagi nila. Getting written. Lekanya. Okay. So it looks like Lord Chaitanya is our founder acharya for getting rare texts copied. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to southern Madurai, and delivered the original manuscript of the Kurma Purana to Ramdas Vipra. So it seems he gave the new copy to those Brahmins. I don't know if that's also hard to imagine they would have been satisfied with that. These Brahmins can be very touchy with things like this. But okay, that's what it says. He gave Patra Laya, Dakin Mathura, Aila Ramdas, She Patra, Ani Dila. Okay, and then it's a quote from the Kurma Purana. Sitaya raditoba nishchaya sitam ajijanat tang jahara dashagriva sitava ni purangata pariksha samayeva ning chaya sita viveshasa vahni sitang samaniya tat purastat aninayat. When he was petitioned by Mother Sita, the fire god, Agni brought forth an illusory form of Sita, and Ravana, who had 10 heads, kidnapped the false Sita. The original Sita then went to the abode of the fire god. When Lord Ramacandra tested the body of Sita, it was the false, illusory Sita that entered the fire. At that time, the fire god brought the original Sita from his abode and delivered her to Lord Ramacandra. So this is some tricks on the part of Agni, some sleight of hand, we say, some magic he's done. Ramdas Vipra was very pleased to receive the original leaf manuscript of the Kurma Purana, and he immediately fell down before the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and began to cry. Koraye Krandam. After receiving the manuscript, the Brahmin, being very pleased, said, "Sir, you are Lord Ramacandra himself and have come in the dress of a sannyasi to give me audience." Tumi Sakshat Sri Raghunandan. Sannyasir Beshe More Dila Darashana. It's interesting. Lord Chaitanya becomes archivist. He discovers, so to say, and recovers this Kurma Purana. And then later he's going to discover, and I don't know if he got permission in the Adi Keshava temple to take Brahma Samhita, but he takes it with him, the 5th chapter. So he's collecting literature. "My dear sir, you have delivered me from a very unhappy condition. I request that you take your lunch at my place. Please accept this invitation." So this is a story with a happy ending. Due to my mental distress, I could not give you a very nice lunch the other day. Bhalo bhiksha nadila. Now, by good fortune, mora bhagye, you have come again to my home. Punarapi pailun darashane. Literally, I have received your darshan again. Again, however. Saying this, the Brahmin very happily cooked food, and a first-class dinner was offered to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Uttama prakare, Prabhu ke bikka koraila. Hare Krishna. He stays that night, and then he leaves for the Tamraparni River. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So that's a nice little meditation on a devotee of Lord Rama and his anxiety, and then the pacification, his pacification by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who brings him Shastra to verify what he had said to him before. We could probably find some ways to think about this in relation to our hermeneutics topic. Yeah, when there is a doubt, of course, the problem this Vipra, this Brahmin had, was in a sense rooted in, we can say, incomplete information. He only knew the Ram Lila apparently from Valmiki Ramayana, because in Valmiki Ramayana, to my knowledge, there's not even a hint that this is about a Maya Sita. And so this is one of the functions of hermeneutics, is to get the bigger picture. Sometimes it's necessary to make reference to some elaborations of Shastra. And we were reading yesterday in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 10, verse number 3 or 4. And then we looked at the commentary of Sridhar Swami, that, Shukadev Goswami is saying that there are thousands of tellings of the Ramayana. And Sridhar Swami seems to be saying these tellings of the Ramayana are actually Valmiki speaking through the many sages. Rishibi Kotibi Valmiki. And that Valmiki speaks through these sages. So we may want to say Valmiki is also speaking this pastime in the Kurma Purana. Krishna Krishna. So let's see now if there's anything. Oh, yes. Gopi Tungavitya is asking, does go also mean senses for Gochara? I would think so, yes. So the range of senses, exactly. It becomes quite directly meaning like that. Chara meaning also going, or charana. And so the range of senses, how far the senses can reach, they cannot reach. And certainly material senses cannot reach Sita. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I should stop here and see what all you want to share today.
Question.
There's a question. There's a question from Subal Gopal. I think we have to present you as newly initiated first. Everyone, you can please welcome Subal Gopal to the Hare Krishna family. Subal Gopal Das Ki Jai.
Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Family.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So, what is your question?
I have a little question, a little doubt. Maharaj, you talked about, she's gonna, that one cannot perceive the spiritual form or anything spiritual with the mind. I just get reminded of the Guru Vastakam, where we sing that the spiritual master, he relishes the rasas of pure devotional service to the mind. Is it that like normal living beings cannot perceive it at all, and the spiritual master has a spiritual mind? Or is this something else I cannot perceive or understand?
Okay, so the question is about perception of the Lord with the mind, and how is it we understand it's not possible, and then on the other side we understand from Guru Vastakam. Which verse specifically you're thinking of?
Manasora-sena, the second verse, second.
Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manasora-sena. What it's saying is Manasa Rasena, he's relishing with rasa, with the mind, he's relishing kirtan, etc. Mahaprabhu, and the kirtan of Mahaprabhu. Nritya and Gita, singing and dancing and everything. He's relishing that. Yeah, we understand the acharyas, the Vaishnavas, with a purified mind, the spiritualized mind. Prabhupada gives the example of the iron, which is heated in fire, it becomes non-different from fire. The physicist might object to that example, but Prabhupada's point is that it has the same effect as fire. If you touch that iron, you will be burned. And so it's carrying that power. And also what I was mentioning in the Yoga Sutras, the mind which is purified then is described as having this special power. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay, I just happen to have it here. Kshina vritter abhijatasya maner grahitre grahana grahyeshu tatsta tat anjanata samapatti. And this is Edwin Bryant's translation. Samapatti, complete absorption of the mind, when it is free from its vrittis, occurs when the mind becomes just like a transparent jewel, taking the form of whatever object is placed before it, whether the object be the knower, the instrument of knowledge, or the object of knowledge. It's a little complicated and technical. I won't get into it here, but samapatti is the key word, and it's translated here as engrossment, complete absorption on an object. And it's the idea is the mind becomes, in a sense, like that object. So if one is focused on Krishna, the mind becomes, like Prabhupada would say, Krishna-ized or Krishna-fied. And the example is of a jewel, which is clear in color, like a crystal. You put a rose next to it and it will have a rose color. So the mind, like the jewel, you put next to Krishna and it becomes filled with Krishna. That's my understanding. Questions. Okay, Chitrakarni has a question and Dira Lalita has a question. Chitrakarni, you want to ask?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
Last month I was reading Srimad Bhagavatam and there was one part, it was explaining the movement of the soul from the yagya. The soul go into the clouds and then fall on the grasses, and then animal eats it, and then it brings it to the table, and then the human eat it, and then it goes to the semen, and then from there it goes to the body, and then a child is being produced.
Conceived.
Conceived, thank you. And so do we have to think, I was always kind of thinking that Srila Prabhupada is always saying that soul is a particle and he gives the exact size, and it is exact size of an atomic particle. But I was always thinking that it's also transcendental, not like a particle, material particle, but the soul need to be attached to a material body to travel, to go to the other beings, humans. So I couldn't really understand here this transcendental, also material technology which Lord Brahma created. So, if you can help me to understand even a little bit better, I would be very happy and grateful. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
I don't think I can make you happy and grateful because I've always been wondering about that too. I think at one point is that it's so much is explained in ways which really are, in a sense, giving us approximations insofar as our minds can understand things. So, for example, when it says that the soul is 1/10,000th the size of a tip of a hair, shatabhagasya, then, that makes it sound like it is material, but we understand, no, the soul is not material. And therefore, in a sense, the soul has no size. But we like to think of things in terms of size and shape and space and time. And so, okay, that gives us some idea. It's very, very small. And then as for whether it needs to have a physical body to travel, not really. It's spiritual, and as something spirit is different from matter. It's certainly not dependent on matter. It might accept matter. Of course, that's what we're doing. That's why we're in these bodies. We've accepted matter. And so it becomes our vehicle by which we move within Prakriti, within the various forms of Prakriti. But that description of, going up to the clouds, raining down grass, eating the cow, then the milk, then we eat, then in the body, then the semen, then impregnation. Well, maybe it's possible. Is that what happens all the time? Well, I don't know. But it's one way of understanding what's going on. And it's a very Upanishadic way, by the way. It's this is the sort of thing that the Upanishads give. And the Upanishads are sometimes scholars will call the Upanishads proto-philosophy. It's not really developed systematic philosophy as such. It's others, of course, some would object to that idea and say, no, it's the deepest. It doesn't get deeper. To which the Vaishnavas will say, well, yes, it does get deeper, namely Srimad Bhagavatam. you get the fresh fruit from the tree. But yeah, some of these descriptions in the Upanishads are obscure, mysterious, a bit strange sometimes. And wonderful. I think the final conclusion is it's all very wonderful. It's adbhuta. Okay.
Thank you very much.
I don't think I helped very much with that, but okay. Dear Lalita is asking, real love or sentiment, emotion toward Krishna, are there different gradations of loving emotion toward Krishna explained in Shastra before one realizes that he or she is not this body, but the soul? Okay, different degrees of loving emotion toward Krishna. Well, one way to understand that, I would say, is because all of our emotions in this world are related. We sometimes say, Prabhupada would say, perverted reflection. That's a harsh way of putting it, but we have our affections in this world, and I would say those affections and those feelings are reflections, not necessarily in a negative sense, but can be a positive sense, insofar as they are leading us toward Krishna, they're good. And that's why it's good to be having feelings of affection for and among devotees. Feelings of affection in the family are natural, and we see each other in the family as Krishna's servants, Krishna's servants of Krishna. So those we might want to count as stages of loving emotion toward Krishna prior to being free from thinking of the body as the soul. That would be my guess. Leela Mai Radha is agreeing.
Like, yeah, I really totally agree. We had a Gita class this morning. I was explaining chapter 2 to some new people, and I find it's quite striking for some of them to understand, we are not the body, we are the soul. So we had a very hot discussion. Does it justify, killing, Arjuna's kinsman in the battle? And I feel that participants, they still have struggle inside to accept, Arjuna performed his duty. It's higher than his compassion towards his kinsman.
Yeah.
Not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. One thing I would say for the Bhagavad Gita situation is that the specific situation of the battlefield and the killing on the battlefield is having a certain we can say rhetorical function of taking the most extreme situation. It's a kind of technique in philosophy sometimes. You can say of, sometimes we speak of thought experiments. We say, imagine this such and such situation. And then you present something, often an extreme example of something, just to sort of force one to think through a particular issue. So that's kind of what's happening there, I think. It's so extreme, and Krishna is actually, Arjuna seems so sensible in his reasons for not fighting. By the end of chapter 1, you feel like, okay, I'm convinced, Arjuna's right. He shouldn't fight. He should go to the forest. And then Krishna turns around and says, you fool. So it's very radical philosophy. It's not for making us comfortable. Okay, Pandava and Bhagavati want to know, this always comes up every time Lord Ram Navami comes up. We want to know, why is he sometimes blue instead of green? Someone would say, why is he green and not blue? And someone else will say, why is he green or blue? That's another stumper for me. Why is he painted blue instead of green? Maybe some people like to think of Ram as blue instead of green. And maybe somewhere he's described as being blue, and somewhere else he's described as being green. And if Rama wants to sometimes be green and sometimes blue, maybe sometimes he wants to be purple. I don't know.
Guru Maharaj, but the description of 9th canto doesn't say about many other colors, just is suggesting a greenish color.
Yeah. Well, so your question is why he's painted blue? You have to ask those who do the painting blue. You could make this your mission. You could say, the reason the world is so topsy-turvy is because we're not worshiping Lord Rama in his proper form with a greenish hue. If we would all worship Lord Rama with a greenish hue, then everything would be just as it should be.
Okay,
Mar-
I have a mission.
You have a mission. Yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Maharaj, in Bhagavatam, one of the verse, it describes the various colors Lord takes in different ages.
Yeah.
So does it have to do with the moods? Because colors display the mood also. And I heard somewhere that blue is a combination of colors, which actually, it's powerful actually. And in fact, he's described Shama. So blue, it's rain clouds, blue, black rain cloud color.
Is Rama specifically described that way?
I don't have any reference for Rama, but definitely I know that people know him as green in color here in India.
Yeah. No, I think blue, I mean, generally, what is it? The primary colors are blue, red, and yellow. And then green is a mixture of blue and yellow, isn't it? So what does that mean? I don't know. But you're saying there's an astrological explanation?
No, probably, I don't know whether it's astrological, but I heard in one of the talks by Sadhguru, he's quite famous here, his videos.
Yeah.
And yeah, he has got good knowledge. I like his talks. So probably he was saying that blue being very powerful. So Krishna came in blue color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's about as far as I can go on that topic. Does anyone have anything you want to share? Any news? One thing I want to mention before I forget is that starting next Saturday, I'll have to end, I think, quarter to the hour, that is 15 minutes early. It may be a little difficult for me to start earlier. So we may just have to have a bit shorter, because for the next several weeks, I have one other program that starts on the hour at 3 o'clock in the European time at present. Just to let you know, that's going to be starting next week. So anybody have anything you want to show and or tell about anything related to anything? Everyone's quiet today. Everyone's shy today. Maybe I should, not to embarrass you or anything, a practical question, Raja-Lilavati. Was it settled yet whether some of us can present online for this conference?
Yes, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Yes, everybody can present also online. This would be the final decision.
Okay.
So of course, you can present online. All the halls we have reserved have equipment.
Good. Okay. Yeah, because I think I'll have to make my Croatia visit somewhat later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, then we will see you in 2D form on the platform.
Yeah. I have to get cracking to get preparing for that. It's been difficult the last few weeks I've been traveling, but I'm going to get to it. Okay.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. What else? What else? Who else? How else? Why else? Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I don't think she's with us just now. Donna Cayley is our temple president here in Munich, and she's she is observing Ramadan this month. I don't think she'll mind telling. She likes very much to observe the fasting of Ramadan every year. Her husband is from a Muslim tradition, and so they do this together. But she really likes it. But what I wanted to say is that yesterday I met her mother, who is 88 years old. And she came to we had a little home program at the home of Ekhanti Devi outside Munich. Nice group of people, about 15 people. And Donna Cayley's mother was there, and she was very liking it. Lively lady, seemed very bright and cheery at age 88. I thought this is how it should be. Right, okay, well, I guess we can call it a day. And tomorrow is Ram Navami. Tomorrow, I think we're going to, oh, the sun just came out. Finally, there's hope. There's hope that tomorrow we're not going to be, the plan is we're having this Sunday feast program tomorrow in some park. Which park?
West Park.
West Park. I only know Englischer Garten. We used to have programs in Englischer Garten, the English garden here in Munich so many years ago. We used to, actually, that's one of my happiest memories, I would say, of preaching, is we would take a big walk and we would bring a gas bottle and a cooker and oil.
I found this on the web.
Shh, quiet. What is this? And we had already cut up cauliflower, and we had the pakora batter ready. And while we were having kirtan in the middle of this park, we would set this up and start cooking pakoras. And people would just, they would come and they would stand around and they would watch and they would hear the kirtan and they would wait until the pakoras were ready. And then we were distributing hot pakoras. These, what do I want to say? Yeah, hot pakoras to the people. And they really liked it. Actually, I think it was mainly potato pakoras because potatoes are cheaper. But yeah, people were so attracted. Ah, the good old days. We did that for some time with Prithu Prabhu, one of the first devotees I met here in Germany, who is now in India. And so we're going to be in West Park tomorrow. Unless it rains or snows. It was snowing earlier today. All right, I am simply babbling now. So let us keep ourselves above, even while we are in this material world, we are not of this material world, right? We are keeping our heads above the water, so to say, by nicely chanting Krishna's names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande, Haribol. Thank you all for joining us today. We'll see you next week. Have a good week. Keep safe, keep sane.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Don't overstrain. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Haribol, Gurudev.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Radhe. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.